Hey everyone, welcome back. I want to discuss a new find on Tubi called Three of a Kind. Now, for those of you that are familiar with me, I think I've said maybe a handful of occasions that when a movie is based off of a book, I like to read the book first. That's my preference. Well, I didn't know this was based on a book until the credits were rolling. And I was like, well, it's going to take me a while to get it from the library, read it. Movie's already on, so this is probably just be a book I just won't end up reading, because when I watch the movie first and then read it, it's my imagination, how I want it to be, keeps trying to go back to what the characters in the movie, right, what they look like. So anyway, I was like, all right, well, this is based off a novel, Three of a Kind. So every now and then I will blindly watch a movie, and what that means is, for me, I will not look at the description. I just put it on, right? Didn't look at the description. So the poster, though, there's a man in the middle, there's three women on the side. So I thought it was going to be like him going between all these women. It ended up being like that, but with a twist. Now, with this one, I saw where it was going very early on. When May was telling Hope and the other girl, I forgot her name, about her daughter's father, and it was a hookup, and they had a lot of one night stand. She ended up getting pregnant. When they were showing her, doing the flashbacks with her in the restaurant talking to him, and they weren't showing his face, I was like, we already know this is going to be Hope, the main character. She was the one getting married, right, to this guy, and these two friends are her college friends that she hadn't seen since college. And I said, I bet you anything that's her fiance, her friend's baby's father, right? So then the other friend, who is the one whose name escapes me, who is like a little bit more free sexually. She's kind of just not trying to get attached. She starts talking about the one guy that got her heart. And ever since then, she hadn't been the same, woo, woo, woo. And I'm like, I guarantee you that's him. So they used his initials are RJ, May, the one who had the baby. And so it said RJ. So throughout the movie, it's just pretty much flashing back. They show how they all met and all this stuff. And so on the day of the wedding, when her fiance was getting ready, and one of the groomsmen was like, hey, come on, Ronald Jackson. I was like, see, there you go. But here's the thing. The unrealistic thing about this movie is, you mean to tell me someone you were cool with in college, she didn't show a picture of her fiance and say, here's my man? Like, who goes to their friend's wedding and doesn't have a clue what the guy looked like? Now, I don't know if they tried to fix that up because I know in the movie there, May and the other girl, not Hope, but the other girl, were saying they're not on social media. I don't know if they maybe tried to clear up that, I guess called a plot hole. I don't think I'm using that term correctly. But it's like, come on. And I understand it's a movie. That was the whole point, to be like, boom, all three of them were involved with this man at some point. And of course, Hope was hurt and everything. I will say this. I was trying to see how long her and her fiance were together, because her friend May, her daughter's 3, so I'm like, okay, that means she at least knew him 4 years ago, 3 years, 9 months ago, somewhere in that area. And so I'm like, if she had the baby before Hope and her fiance got together, I didn't feel like Hope should be feeling betrayed. But the end of the movie is Hope talking to a therapist, and she's like, I just didn't understand her, because she doesn't talk to May at all. She doesn't let her husband, because she ended up going ahead and marrying a guy, she doesn't let him have any kind of communication with May. The other girl that's her friend, she's the one that kind of helps in between the transactions of like the baby and her husband. And this is the thing. When May was pregnant, she told him, I'm pregnant. She texted him. He didn't text back. So it's like you were deadbeat dad for the first 3 years of this child's life. And it's not like you didn't know that you might have a child out there. You did. But since it blew up in your face, because at the wedding, May, when they finally saw each other, she was like, that's so-and-so's daddy, blah, blah, blah. Now, all of a sudden, you're dad of the year. And Hope, she was like telling the therapist, F that baby. And, she's like has all this resentment against her friends. And they didn't even know that was her dude. Why are you mad at them? Why are you not mad at him for not at least trying to see if this pregnancy thing was real? You didn't take no DNA test. You just totally just ghosted the girl when you knew there was a possibility that you had a baby. So you married a man that was a deadbeat for 3 years. Now he's trying to make up for it. You're mad at May because she had a baby with him. She didn't even know that was your dude. Like I said, I'm still not even sure if they were together when she had the baby. Hope and him were together when May met him. And now the other friend that says she was with him, her thing sounded really recent. Like she was with him while Hope and him were together, but she didn't know it. So I don't understand how you marry the man that has all this stuff going on, all these skeletons in his closet, but you're mad at your friends, the ones who have been there for you, the ones that consoled you when your dad died or mom died. Both her parents died, but they were actually there when when she got the news about the parents dying. And she's like, tells the therapist, I'm plotting my revenge. Revenge on who? Damn. But there's women like that though. There's women. I actually had a conversation with somebody. This was years ago at my job, old job. We got on the subject of if your husband has an affair and has kids, what would you do about it? And she was like, well, I would make sure that they know that I know. She said, I would make sure that I know who the outside child is, but my kids can't be involved with them. And I'm like, but the child didn't do anything. The child can't help how they were conceived. So you still be with your husband, but you're going to treat his child like an outcast. Like that kind of stuff I don't understand. I truly feel like if you're willing to stay with that person, you need to accept the child too. If you know that you're not going to, and hold on, because I know there's probably people like, I don't have to accept. But if you know you're not going to accept the child, why would you stay with him? Because getting mad at him for being a father to a child that he had while he was married with you, the person you need to be mad at is him. He the one stepped out. Now, in this case, in this movie, like I said, I think she had the baby before her friend got together with him. But the fact that Hope is all pissed off and act like she's just a woman scorned, you didn't have to marry. You found all this out before y'all even said I do. It was right there, right before y'all said I do. You still married him, but you secretly hate one of your friends. Your other friend, you don't deal with her at all. I just didn't get that. I will say this. I can tell this book is probably fire. All right? Are people still saying fire? I feel like the book was probably better. The book is always better in my opinion because I feel like in the book you can get more into people's thoughts, right? Because in a movie, if they tried to narrate everybody's thoughts, it would just be a bunch of narration going on, and that might, people might get tired of hearing that throughout the whole movie. Whereas in a book, you can take it in. You can take in all the different, first persons, third persons. So it's like, man, I didn't run across the book first. I think what I'm going to have to start doing with Tubi, because this has happened before on Tubi, I'm gonna look up, okay, this movie looks interesting. Let me see if it was a book first. I want to check out the book first. So I saw that the lady that wrote Three of a Kind, she also directed this movie. So I think that's great that, she made the book, wrote the book, and it's like, bam, we're going to turn it into a movie. So I am wondering, with Hope saying that she's going to get her revenge, if there's going to be a part 2. So I don't know. But Hope, I'm betting against you because you're mad at the wrong people. I'm not even quite sure if she should be mad at him, because I'm still trying to figure out, was he messing with that other friend while he was with her? But I think he was, but the friend didn't know. Because in the movie, it's like they were cool in college, but they hadn't been in touch since then. So, but hey, let me know what you think about Three of a Kind. It's real interesting. The Hope's perspective of everything after she found out everything. Shout out to my 164 subscribers. Shout out to the rest of you as well who are not subscribed, but you can hit that button for me. Completely free, only takes a smidget of a second. Peace and blessings to every last one of you watching. Until next time.